because we're coming to you asking for something. And I respect each one of you. Almost every one of you I've had some kind of personal interaction with, and you all are all gentlemen that I respect. But I'm passionate about this because there's nothing more, even my relationship with any of you all or anybody in this room, that I'm more passionate about than my kids and than children in general. So I am going to say something here that's a little bit more upfront. Commissioner Flores and Commissioner Wardlaw, I have two things. One, what did we not know last year? Yes, everybody's entitled to change their mind. But what did we not know last year that now we know that necessitates changing the location? What new thing happened in the last 20 years that yet again we go from Eagle Pass Hill to by Walmart to Buena Vista, and now at Fairgrounds, our fourth location, gentlemen, and now we're considering a fifth. Let's be realistic. By the time the plans are done, by the time the votes are taken, if we, in 20 years that we've waited, did not still get a sports complex in 3 to 5 years from now, what's to change to say the plans aren't going to change for a fifth time? Because if they say history teaches us, right? Well, then our history teaches us that the same thing is going to happen again. And the second question I would ask of you, Commissioner Flores and Commissioner Wardlaw, the base is a big question mark. The fact is that right now, they are not making their position known whether they oppose or they're in favor of this. But historically speaking, the base has been very, very vigilant what gets built over there. And we're not talking about residential. We're not talking about businesses. We're talking about you're building a sports complex. You're going to have traffic. You're going to have lights if you want to play night games. I'm imagining you gentlemen are considering this. All of that, can either one of you right now tell me that you can assure us that the base is not going to oppose this? And if you cannot, then why are you willing to spend more money on plans, more time on votes, more time doing all of this? And we do it. We put the money in for the plan. We take the time for the votes. Heck, maybe we even groundbreak. And Laughlin says, we are not comfortable. You know as well as I do, it dies right then and there. So why? Because you're right. We don't know if it's a no, but we don't know if it's a yes either. So are we going to throw our money and our time blindly to a question mark? I ask you that. You see everybody here behind you, and not everybody is going to agree with us, but I think you see a lot of sports jerseys. I think you see a lot of coaches here. I think you see a lot of people in the community that just like you are worried about this community. You see that this is important to us. As somebody else said, we're not going to yield on this. We're not going to go away. We're going to actually get bigger, and we're actually going to get stronger. Because if we, not tomorrow, not in a week from now, but right now, if we don't get the ball rolling, you're not failing me. You're not failing the coaches. You're not even failing yourselves. You're failing every single kid you see here with a sports jersey. Because the easiest, the quickest, the fastest, and the most secure location available right now is the fairgrounds, without fail. Gentlemen, y'all have led before. That's why I wanted to start with that. I do appreciate you all. You have accomplished a lot. Make this the feather in your cap, another feather in your cap. Make this part of your legacy, that when you guys are gone from here, they will look back on you all because you seized this moment to say 20 years is enough. We're going to give our children, the children of Val Verde County, the complex right now. We're going to get it started, and later on, if we want to expand, we'll figure that. But we're going to take step one today. Thank you very much.
I want a sports complex. I want it now. Don't make me wait another 20 years. Don't make me wait another 20 years. Let's go. Let's get it done. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm going to make a couple comments, and then I'll make a couple comments, then we'll open it up. And I know there's people out there right now that might want to speak, and we will in just a minute. We'll open it up again for comments, and then I'd like to hear if there's individuals that might want to have this built at the SE Ranch. But during this whole conversation, when we looked at the master plan, or we looked at this plan, there was actually a committee that was put together in 2018. It was called the Fairgrounds Committee. They put together a plan that they brought before Commissioners Court in 2019 that did not have as many fields on it. There was a pavilion. There was more event centers. It went from that to what you see today. The track, the racetrack, in the 2019 Fairgrounds Committee, it had it cut at a certain spot. One of the meetings that we had, people asked how come we kept having meetings, was to try to accommodate everybody. So the track was cut in the 2019 Fairgrounds Committee. We actually added over 700 feet to the track. We left an area in the back. I don't know if it's up there. Yeah, we left an area in the back for about 92,500 square foot that it could be a future event center. In the front, and I'm going to bounce all over the place. I'll try to get a rhythm here, but at the front in the 4-H, in the plan that we have right now, because we'd received some insurance money, the plan that we had for 4-H was the pins that they have where their horse stalls are at, that they flood when it rains. So part of our plan was to do away with their horse stalls and redo their horse stalls, that way they wouldn't flood. New restrooms, new lights, new telephone poles, new lights for the 4-H arena. And I can tell you that I've been part of, this is my third court. The courts have spent a lot of money on the facilities that 4-H uses, and we will continue to do that. There never was a question whether or not 4-H was going to be moved out. That was never, ever a concern. That was never even a topic of conversation. So the 4-H, we would be adding to it. We would be enhancing what's there. The fairgrounds, as far as the grandstands goes, because we did have more insurance money, you'll see new bleachers, aluminum bleachers, new roof on that. There was actually a plan to build a roof over where the bulls are at, not the arena, because we are the largest or the oldest outdoor bull riding event. Is that correct? Only standalone in the nation. So we would never cover the arena. If people have asked how come we don't do that, well, we lose that distinction. So that ain't gonna happen. So all the events that we have at the fairgrounds, the George Paul, the rodeo in July, the cook-offs, all that would remain the same, folks. We had taken several votes, a couple votes, to move the horses out to the SE Ranch. And I'll accept blame for that one, because I think it was a 4-1 vote and a 3-2 vote to move the horses, not 4-H. 4-H does not leave. They're ours. They ain't going nowhere. But the other horses in the back, we took votes. And when I get questioned how come I take so many votes, I sort of wanted to come to an agreement that we could all live with and be a more unanimous vote. So one of the things was lengthen the racetrack a little bit longer than what they'd done, and build the 5 oldest shed rows out there, keep them, add another shed row, and redo them. We were lucky enough with insurance money that the plan was to set $932,000 out of the $1.3 million we got out of insurance to fix those. So we get the questions asked, well, you should have had more meetings and you should have come to a consensus. Yeah, folks, we did that, okay? So the horses in the bank weren't leaving. And the only thing we were trying to do is to enhance what we already have there. There was 2 softball fields down there that were going to be built. And when you look at one of the plans up here, the last slide, they're being built close and right next to the softball field of the school. How come? Because now they can hold tournaments. That was the reason behind putting them down there at the bottom. We were adding over 600, either adding or repaving over 600,000 square foot of parking. And even at the cost, and I'm gonna throw this number out there, I did some preliminary numbers, and they might be off a little bit, but I don't think they're gonna be off much. We were concerned about the horses at the racetrack and concerned about the amount of people that use the racetrack. We have, if I'm not mistaken, as of February, we had 64 renters. We had 182 stalls that were rented, either to store stuff, horses, tack room, whatever. So when you do the math, if you take 2 people to be out there and work it, they're not there all the time, but you have one full time, you have another one comes back and forth. You take 2 people, we have $25,000 set aside for the fairgrounds. You figure your water, your lights, the little bit that it costs. You figure your depreciation on a water truck and on a tractor, the trash bill, the fuel that it costs to do. Jesus Christ, we've got $135,665 in the back part of the racetrack. And I'm not talking about events here. This because the events, we lose money on them all day long. So, but the racetrack itself, in the back, $135,000, we collected, with the February rent, if you look at that, $65,520. So, we are at a loss of $70,145. You've got 64 renters, and this is the one that just absolutely, yeah, we got kids. It's $1,079.15 per person that rents at the fairgrounds in the back. That's what it costs y'all to have that. If you figure what we spend, which is absolutely ridiculous, what we spend on our kids, but you know, I'm here, been here for, this is my 3rd term, so I'm part of it, part of the problem. I'll own it. We spend about $120,000 on our kids. We charge $1 for you to use your fields. But we spend about $120,000 on y'all. Divide that by 2,100 kids in our system. A little while ago, they said over 2,000. $56.98 per kid. And if y'all ain't just completely, another bad word, if y'all ain't completely mad about what we do for y'all, you have an election coming up. It is ridiculous what we do for y'all. And I am part of the problem. We've stood up, but when I spend $1,079 and we're concerned about the people that have horses back in the back, and I'm spending $57 on your kids, if they weren't here, I would throw out the F-bomb right here. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And I've told y'all before, y'all have the power of a vote. I'm not being political, just telling you the way it is. We've listened to individuals, all of them, that we need to put it at the SC Ranch. I will tell y'all again that this court, I am privileged to be a part of it. And whatever decision is made by the court, we will honor, and it's my job to get it done. I don't know who else wants to speak. You want to talk? You going to take a long time? Okay. Can you make it up here? Because I don't think I've got a cordless mic, sir, and I'm sorry for that. You're okay? All right. You want a water or something? Okay, well, I'm going to go back and get me another water and wipe my eyes. You're going to be here in a minute.
Well, hello?
Yes, sir.
My name is Arturo Talamantes. I live on Precinct 2. And I hate to say this, but I'm against all this that you all want to do. Because there's more things that need to be done in the city. San Felipe has been neglected big time, big time. Okay, I finally got the city manager doing some things over there, and Martin Warlaw, he's been working his butt off ever since he's been over there. I know for sure. He's the man. Other than that, I can't say a whole lot about other commissioners. Mr. Flores' district over there where he lives, I mean, where he's part of the country over there but it's just like if you were in Mexico, on the other side of the pond. I mean, golly, I mean, we live in the United States of America. I mean, we can live better. I don't know, y'all want to spend a lot of money on this with the kids. We have a lot of parks here in town that the city's neglected. Y'all need to work with the city and get all this done. Mr. Vasquez, Travis over there, what are you going to do with it? You own it. Okay, you're just going to let it be a haunted house over there? Come on. Our city leaders, very disappointed. Most of you, except Mr. Warlow. You know, I can't say a whole lot about you other guys, you know. Y'all need to step up to the plate. Because this, you know, we need lighting, we need streets, we need cleanup. I mean, it's just terrible. It's terrible. I mean, get off your butts and walk around, drive around. San Felipe especially. We don't need pretty boys. We don't need chulitos. We need people that go out and do the work. That's what y'all were elected for. And I think we can do a lot of things with you know, helping these kids with their sports and stuff like that. But I think we need to do that after we get some of these other issues done. Other than that, it's just going to be the same. San Felipe, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You know, that's puros mexicanos pobres. You know, nobody gives a damn. I'm sorry to talk this way, but it's the truth. You know, I worked 35 years with the railroad. I was never home. Now that I'm home, I'm retired, I'm all messed up. I see the mess. I see the mess. I tried talking to some of you guys. I don't get phone calls back. The only one I get is Mr. Warlow and one of the city councilmen's Webb. Other than that, and Chidi, now that he's up there. Other than that, like ghosts. You guys are like ghosts. You don't exist. Mr. Flores, you're part of the country, man. It's terrible.
Well, I don't agree with you. I mean, you need to go over there precinct 4, and if you don't like what you see over there,
I don't live
you need to run for public office, and you make those proper changes if you think you can do it.
I don't live over
No,
there, but I feel sorry for the people that live
No,
over there.
sir. You've been gone too long.
This is the United States of America. We're not Mexico or some third world country.
No, this is not Mexico, sir, but you have not been at precinct 4. You live in precinct 2, and you've been gone for many years working railroad,
Well, I was
and now
thinking
you're
that-
just voicing your opinion, but those are not facts,
Hey, you are-
okay?
So that's all I got to say.
I didn't get your last name, I'm sorry.
Talamantes.
Talamantes, I'm sorry. I got your first name, Mr. Talamantes, I didn't get your
my
last.
phone number, too.
And a little while ago, you said for being, you know, that's what we want. You need to come up and tell us what we've been doing wrong or right in your opinion, and we
Yeah.
most definitely respect your opinion, sir.
We need San Felipe. We need these people that live out in the colonias. You know, lightning is, some places the lighting is on the street is so old. Those, man, it's like not even having light bulbs out there. We need modern light bulbs, modern lighting. We need streets, you know, paving. We need cleanup, brush. Old cars picked up. Como decía mi abuela, it's okay to be poor, but not live like pigs.
Thank you,
Excuse-
sir. Appreciate it.
Judge,
Real quick, Commissioner Vasquez, yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Talamantes, can I get a minute from your time, por favor? Mr. Talamantes, of course, Juan Carlos Vasquez, your county commissioner for precinct 2. Mr. Talamantes, I just want to let you know.
You left me hanging the other day.
When was that, Mr. Talamantes?
I called you about brush, and so, where do you live? 410 East Bean. I'll be over there in 30 minutes.
And-
you never showed up.
Well, and Mr. Talamantes, if we didn't show up, I guarantee you, there, right
I
now,
called you, left you voicemails.
yeah, and Mr. Talamantes, my apologies if I missed your phone call, but I guarantee you, if I would have gotten your message, I would have promptly responded to your phone call. As far,
I know you guys are very busy. You run a business.
well,
And a lot of you guys run business on the side. Y'all, I don't know if that's what you all.
well, but my
position.
priority is the county, Mr. Talamantes, with all due respect, and I want to let you know, as far as the Cardwell School, we've done great progress on it. We're in the process of refurbishing. We recently acquired it from the school.
Yeah,
We're taking it over. It's
you had it for a while. It's not recent.
last year, Mr. Talamantes, and it takes time, county business. But me, the judge, the engineer, we just visited it a few days ago, and it's moving along. Hopefully, I'll be able to get your phone number, and I'd love to sit down and visit with you the plans that we have for the Cardwell School. And again, as far as trash pickup, we've been super busy, but no excuse. But there's no reason why we shouldn't have done that. So I'll reach out to you, get your phone number, whatever I can do for you.
Mark's the only one that said, Arturo, if the city don't want to pick it up, I'll send my man over there. But es una vergüenza.
Yeah, and we'll do the same, Mr.
Que-
Talamantes.
Que tenga que venir el de su principio al mío, porque los demás no quieren hacer su trabajo.
Yeah, I'll get your contact information, Mr. Talamantes, and we'll take care of that for you.
I know we're getting off topic with schools and stuff, but my attorney's not told me not to. So, just for y'all's information, when we're asked, come on up, the trash pickup, I will tell you that everybody right now has a claw truck. Well, 3 of the precincts, right? I have one. You have one too? All 4 precincts have claw trucks, and they all do pick up trash. The 2 schools, the one on Chapoy Street and the one on Broadbent, we have gone to both of them. Probably half of each school is going to be torn down. There is plans, and y'all stop me if I'm wrong, for a computer lab and then also a satellite library at both locations. So that is in the plans. We actually applied for $1.2 million and $1.4 million, right? Grant. We didn't make it. We were close, but didn't make it. So you want to go ahead, and I'm sorry. You want to introduce yourself first, and then we'll move on.
Yes, yes, my name is Brenda Castillo, and I'm here to voice my concerns, my opinion about the sports complex built at the fairgrounds. I myself, I'm a horse owner. I do rent a stall. I'm also here representing a group of youth that do use the track, that do use the arena. We practice barrel racing, we practice pose. We have participated in different rodeo youth events throughout the towns around us. We just went to one this past weekend to Uvalde. And I just want to say, we're not against the sports complex, but we are against you taking off part of the track where we exercise our horses, where we practice. We are against you taking away some of our stalls for storage, for making more space for parking lots, or I'm not sure what else you're going to build. Softball fields. There is approximately, for what I've known, seen around 9 baseball fields around town. Other soccer fields as well. There's many parks around the city. This is the only facility that we have in town, in county, to use for our horses. This is the only place we have to practice for our youth. There are youth too that like rodeo activities. It's not just soccer, and I mean, yes, I have kids too that want to do other sports, but I also have my daughter that she loves to be at the fairgrounds every single day, ready for practice. Not just her, there's other youth as well. So I'm just voicing my opinion. We're not against it. Just please do not disturb our track, our arena. That's the only place we have to practice.
And not only that, the two arenas that are there, they would remain, and there's a third arena that would be built where the pavilion's at right now.
What two arenas?
The big arena, and then the little arena next to it, where the place in front of the grandstands.
Okay, yes.
And then
yes.
the other arena would stay.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's a plan to build another arena where the pavilion's at right now.
Right under the stands?
Like when you come out of the grandstands, how do I put it? It's the place where they store stuff. It's got like the chicken wire around the outside.
Okay.
All right. That would come down, and there's plans to build another arena there.
Okay.
And then some other round pins. The part that would affect y'all the most would be the shortening of the track. And what that would be, doggone it, from where you come in, from where you come off of, you come around right there where the little pink's at or whatever, and you go like to go inside the track.
What we go over the track? Yes.
From right there is where you have your track all the way back and all the way back. So, all the way back and all the way back.
See, because they were saying they were going to add some feet to the track.
There's
I
seven,
see.
the 2019 plan. Let me get up
Microphone.
there. The 2019 plan where it says track, down here on the corner, you can barely tell. But where it says track down here, where it makes the corner and it says, you'll see a little bit of wording. In the Fairgrounds Committee that looked at the plan, that's where they were stopping it where it says track. So when I say that we were adding 700 feet, it was from the curve all the way back over here where there's a line. I wish I would have brought a pointer. But yes, in this plan here, you keep the two arenas, the one in front of the grandstands, the other arena, and then back over here where it says 250 by 120.
See,
Jesus
because this
Christ.
plan is a different plan than the one I saw on Facebook, and then there's another plan
No,
back
ma'am,
there.
this is the only
So
one that I
it's-
posted on Facebook.
Okay, because it says that they're going to build a high fence towards the end of the
Where
track, and then they're going to cut off part of the track. And then I don't see,
will it reach?
like, where you say the other arena is going to be, it's not in the plan?
Let me go point.
Okay.
In the plan that the Fairgrounds Committee put together, their plan had the track ending here. Basically, when you come in, it would come from here all the way to here, and it would end right here. And when I say that we were going to add 700 feet, it was from here to here, which is about 732 feet. Where the track, where you would be missing track, would be from here. It comes back and goes right through here. This is a track that would be removed. But you'd end up right here when you cross, like to get into the center of the track.
Yes.
You would keep that. The two arenas, the arena in front of the grandstand and this one, we actually had plans, and like I said, we set insurance money aside to put new lights on this one and that one. And then right here, I can't see, but right here, this is where the old pavilion was at, sort of at an angle, the one with the chicken wire and stuff. It would come down, and then you would have another arena here with some round pins.
And how come that one's not included in the plan?
Well, it says right here, arena 250 by 120. You just can't see it. Now I'm having a real hard time seeing it also. The stalls that are down here, yes, ma'am, they would be removed. The ones that are down here. And we have a lot of issue also with those because they're metal. This stall right here was all metal, and we actually cut it in half and redid all these with new metal on the bottom, and then fixed the doors and
Yes, that's where we were at.
Yes, and we redid
half of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and the rest of it was for equipment storage, because we're going to move all of the equipment from the fairgrounds versus having them all down here and in bits and pieces. And even in the pavilion, this has new concrete, new roll-up doors, and we're able to park all the equipment in it. So, you know, just to be transparent, on this plan, what you would lose would be the stalls here. When you look at we have 182 stalls rented as of February, whether for horses or whatever. There's 182 rented. So there's enough stalls there with room to grow, and I guess that's the key part is growth. But there's enough stalls with these and with what's here to accommodate the 182, and you still have room for growth. Okay. But you're all right. You're going to be losing some track if we do the sports complex, and you will lose these down here. There was a stall. There's another. One of the things that we looked at was to go ahead and when we have horses that come in that need to be quarantined, in this plan here, it's not there, but you are going to have horse stalls here down at the bottom here. Since we flipped these fields around to put where the pitcher's mounds or where the back catchers are at, we flipped them around on one of the plans and put them here. So therefore, this right here is not going to be used because the parking lot for this is going to be on the school side. And if you want, I mean, we could literally go out there and take a ride around. I don't know if y'all have my phone number, just like the commissioners have said. You know, if y'all want to go to the SC Ranch, you want to go have a better idea of what's going on at the fairgrounds, I will tell you that in the plan that we put together for this, we had $932,000 set aside. All these right here have asbestos in them. So we are fixing, we've got a bid already to remove the asbestos in this one, remove the asbestos in this one, and then redo all of these. ¿Verdad? To where you'll have new electrical, you'll have new paint, new roof. The wood that is rotten will have to be replaced. Y'all do pay $30 a month for stall rent. It is the cheapest anywhere. Yes. So even with everything that we do, and it will be a decision of the court, but I don't see how we would be able to keep $30 a month stall rent with all the improvements, especially since I'm bleeding $70,000 a year. Okay.
Well, if they're improved, I think, the price should go up.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
If they're not improved,
yeah, no, and you're being charged for what you got.
Yes.
You know, and I can tell you that the metal pins that are here right now, we spend a lot of money, and it don't look like we spend anything at all because of the horse manure that's built up in a bunch of them has already eaten the metal. And if you're right here with Artemio and them, you know, we redid all those, ¿verdad? And if you look at what you have now compared to what you had a year ago, there's no comparison, okay? And we're not trying to take this away from you. I can tell you that people ask, how come we kept doing votes? And you look at it, I mean, there was a 3-2 vote, there was a 4-1 vote to move these out to the SE Ranch because of the amount of renters that we have. You're only talking about 64 people. That came back to the court for the simple reason that we wanted to get us all on board, ¿verdad? And not to disturb y'all. So we ended up with a 5-0 vote on 3 different occasions if we would leave this, extend the track, and do improvements to what we already have.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We would, you know, since you're building a sports complex for other kids, for the youth as well, we would also want, you know, a little bit of improvement for our youth.
What we were going to do with y'all is the other arena, the new lights on it, new lights and poles here, new lights there, new lights for the 4-H and new poles. And again, starting at the...
We don't use the 4-H.
Well,
so in this new arena, are we going to be able to use the lights?
Yes.
Okay, because on the one we're on, we can't.
Yeah, and not only that, you figured on the lights, heck, we had Border Patrol ask if they could use 4-H on Thursday for training or whatever, and we couldn't even get them to go use 4-H because I don't even know if the lights work. So we're gonna, you know, spoke with Commissioner Wardlaw, and we're gonna put them at the big arena, close off the big arena on Thursday until we can figure out if the lights work at the 4-H. So y'all are having the same problem. You go to turn on the lights, they're probably not gonna work. ¿Verdad? So the plan was to redo the lights on both 4-H, the arena, what they call Arena 2, and then naturally the new arena would have new lights. Okay. Okay? Is anybody else? I'm sorry, ma'am. Go ahead. Can I get down or?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes. Yes. my name is Joy Show. I'm a military wife, homeschool mom of 6, and proud Texas resident of 8 years. My family and I have lived in Del Rio for 6 years, while my husband has flown as an instructor pilot at Laughlin Air Force Base. My daughter is Artemio Cruz's horse riding student, and my son is going to be playing T-ball this season. So I am here to speak against building a sports complex on the county fairgrounds. In July, the county fairgrounds hosts one of the highlights of our summer, the rodeo. The rodeo is to Texas, I think, what baseball is to America. My daughter was dreaming of owning a horse, and the fairgrounds made horse lessons at least possible for her. Incoming military spouses contact Laughlin spouses and ask where they could board their horses near available housing. I've been able to recommend the fairground stables. The fairgrounds is one of the things that makes Del Rio a good place for many people, and I'm tired of losing good things here. So basically, while I've been listening today, I've heard what it sounds like to me. Are we trying to decide whether we should rob Peter to pay Paul? Peter's the poor ones who aren't as large of a group, maybe, but they're the ones that are there. And we have 2 properties. And the question is, which property to use for the sports complex? I'm hearing that we want to keep the stables here, but honestly, I can't imagine that the horse stables are going to stay once the sports complex starts taking off. I really think it's going to be gone. I think that's actually probably very, very likely, most likely, that all of that will be gone eventually, because it doesn't mix. You can't have baseballs on the track while horses are riding the track. It's a danger to the rider. And so basically that's what it comes down to. And it seems like, I know there was a plan for a fairplex made, and one in the court did not want the horses to have a swimming pool, was not for that plan at all. And seems like the horses are not wanted, from what I've heard. And so I just know that this is the plan now, and it's gonna change down the road. Who knows how long? But there is SE Ranch, that's available land. If you take away the fairgrounds for those who like to ride horses and own horses and have a place to board them, then where are they going to go? Is any, are we going to actually get a place for us? And how long would that take? Everybody's saying they've waited so long for the sports complex, but they do have fields. They do have a place to be. We have the SE Ranch, and I've heard that is to protect Laughlin. I've heard that a sports complex there would endanger children. That doesn't make sense to me as a military spouse. That suggests that all the children that go to school on the base, all the families that live on base, are in danger. I just don't, I've never been in fear living on base. I've been to other bases, and they've got a lot of development around those bases. So I don't know why that would be a problem to develop that land for a sports complex that would be used mostly in the evenings and weekends. It seems like a very good use of that land, because that would be used mostly when the planes are flying less. And so I don't see that as putting children at risk at all. And I have 6 of them. I care about children. Wouldn't want to do that. So.
In answer to the horses and the ranch, we'd actually talked to the base about trying to do something, a joint effort, in order to have a place for horses out at the SE Ranch. Mm-hmm. Like I say, the plan twice was to move the horses from the fairgrounds out to the SE Ranch. And that was voted on. It came back a 3rd time because we were trying to figure out how to accommodate everybody and not put anybody out. So this is the best at the time that we could come up with versus moving the horses out to
Right.
the SC Ranch.
Yes, and again, this is the only place that people have for the horses. And the only place that I know of for my daughter to take horse lessons. The only place. My son is going to play T-ball. He has places to play T-ball this year.
Yeah.
Everybody that's here, their kids have been playing. No one's missing out on sports. As far as I know, no one's missing out on sports. It may not be as convenient as they would like, but it's there. And progress could be
What
made.
was your name again? I didn't get it.
Joy.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Joy Show.
Joy? Thank you, ma'am. And
Thank
keep
you.
on. I mean, don't quit. Don't judge us.
No, I think that covers it. So, thank you.
Thank y'all. Somebody else? If you'll just introduce yourself, please, sir, and then move forward.
Yes, sir. My name is Salvador Pascasio. I've been in the community since, I guess, beginning of time, my time anyway. I think the problem is that there's just no progress. I mean, since I've been growing and since my generation before me, we've been playing on the same rocks and sand all the way coming up. And to me, that's a huge problem. And when I say, hey, let's take short steps, I mean, can we at least have where we do practice? Can we have some grass there? I mean, something so well, I'm not gonna say minute, because I know everything costs money. But I want my kid to have pride where he goes. I'm from Del Rio. That's, my son's over there, right? So Del Rio wants to have pride, right? We want to be prideful. I mean, and right now is the time, because the parents right now, we've come to the funnel to where like, man, we want our kids to have more than what we had. And if I'm just speaking about my generation and then the generation before me, I mean, that's just crazy. It shouldn't be that way. I mean, we are Del Rio, Texas, and we should be proud to be Del Rioans. And there's, my kid, bless his soul, he watches, that's all he does is watch YouTubes of how to be the best player in everything he does. I mean, if anybody that knows my kid. I've started a no-quit boxing club for those that know the name, No Quit Boxing. I have these kids that come into my gym. I've seen them cry, right? I mean, it hurts my heart. Because how proud they are to have something to be proud of. And that's something huge for a kid to be proud. And we're tired of waiting to be proud. We are anxious to give our kids something to strive for. I hate the fact that my kid, we go somewhere else, like, oh man, this is so awesome. I don't want that. I don't want to use the bad words in my judge. I don't want that. I want my son that when he goes to practice somewhere, he's like, man, I'm proud to be from Del Rio, Texas. And when he goes out and he becomes something big, or anybody else's kid becomes something great, I'm from Del Rio, Texas. That's what we want. We don't, okay, we got the sport pamphlets. We see this. We see the layout. I understand that, but just something so small. You know, here you go. We got the coaches going. We have a field. Just nice grass, lines in it. I mean, is that so hard to ask for? You know, the lady that just came before me, you know, she was saying like, hey, none of our kids have missed any other sports. But the reality of it is we want to have pride of where we go. That's it. That's it. I mean, It's crazy, 20 plus years. And I wish you guys could tell me, hey, but look at the fields we got. At least they're maintained, and you know, we got somewhere to go. You know, these kids aren't falling over my kids multiple times on thorns that are like 3 inches. You know, on gravel that's, you know, these kids are getting hurt. For why? Because we can't have some type of landscaping at least. I mean, I know the complex is what we're looking forward to, but man, guys, just show us some progress. That's all we ask for. Del Rio proud. That's it. That's all I got, guys. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Daniel Villegas, and I want to say thank you for listening to all of our grievances or complaints, sir. I know this is a time-consuming issue. I'm a young man who actually works at the fairgrounds. I ride horses, and most of the time I make my money from mucking stalls. And I understand that everybody wants a sports complex. That'd be awesome. I wish I had it when I was in high school. I was on the swim team, and that was a difficult thing to drive to the base, back to school, and get there on time. But I'm here fighting for the fairgrounds. The fairgrounds is a monument to Del Rio, where we stand out. When you say Del Rio, you think of the fairgrounds, and you think of the horses, and the George Palmer Memorial. People from all over come to see that, and they're excited for that when they see that stuff. If you were to put the sports complex on the fairgrounds, you would not only take away from what it is originally by itself, you would be sharing with other people, and I don't mind sharing. Sharing is a big part of my, I have a lot of people in my family, and I'm used to that. So, but if you were to do that as a rider, as a person who works with horses, working with horses takes time. They're skittish animals, they're big animals, and if you have a sports complex next to horses, baseballs, soccer. We have people practice in the middle of the arena, and we actually find baseballs in the track, and some of the horses step on them sometimes, and we're scared that the horses would roll their ankles, and taking care of a horse is already expensive. Imagine the medical bills. So that's one of my concerns. I'm not against the sports complex. I'm actually for it. I'm a young man myself. I have brothers and sisters that are in school, and that would be awesome for them. But to tarnish the fairgrounds of what it is, I don't want to see that happen. So thank you for listening to my...
No, and that's why we're here. I mean, the whole purpose of this is to listen to people's comments, ¿verdad? And to get an idea of what's going on. Thank you for coming, sir. I appreciate it. You can take the mic down if she wants.
Hello, my name is Chloe Palazuelos, and I am 10 years old. The reason why I asked my parents if I could come up and talk today is because I believe you all need to hear and see for yourself who you are affecting with your decisions. By this community changing your mind where a complex should be made is affecting not only me, but every child in Del Rio. You need to keep the complex at the fairgrounds, as it will improve Del Rio and the youth of this community. Here are some reasons why. 1. You have one gym, which is the Boys and Girls Club. This complex will have more gyms, which benefits all leagues who play basketball. Number 2, more baseball/softball fields. You have 3 softball fields for Little League that are not even playable. If it was not for the county, we would not have enough baseball fields. Number 3, volleyball courts. Only Boys and Girls Club. This sports complex would allow for more volleyball courts. Number 4, soccer fields. All we have is Alicola fields. To get to my point and not waste much more time, you are allowing more food companies to come into our community, but you don't want to allow a sports complex that can make the children of this community stronger and healthier. What image do you want to give our neighbors such as Eagle Pass, Uvalde, Comstock, and Bracketville? Leaving the complex at fairgrounds allows Del Rio to grow. It will bring more businesses to our community. We'll have new hotels being built. Who is going to fill them if we have nothing to bring people in other than the lake? So I will end this with this. Stop saying no to the children and finally say yes. I don't want to be graduating and still hearing the idea of a complex. Let's build it. Like they say in the movie, if you build it, they will come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. How old are you? How old is she? How old? 10. That's amazing. And to everybody that spoke, I mean, we greatly appreciate. Yeah, come on up. And he's going to come first, and then. Oh, you're good. You're good. Come on up.
Do it together. Good afternoon, or good evening. My name's Arturo Rodriguez, and the reason I'm here is to express my opinion that is so clear, and it's existed way before the county purchased the SC Ranch. There was a developer that wanted to create a development in the SC Ranch sometime back, and the problems occurred with the city, and they got sued, and we won, he lost, we were able to protect Laughlin. To the commissioners that are persistent and wanting anything in SC Ranch, you don't have Del Rio in mind for the future. Laughlin controls Del Rio. They don't want nothing to incur on their flight patterns. Anything. You say that nothing's gonna stop or nothing's gonna create an incursion for the flight pattern. Well, SC Ranch is between what? Highway 277 and Highway 90. Yeah, we control that because the county purchased it. But what if a developer comes and buys land on 277 on the ranch side of the opposite of the development? How are we going to control that? We're not. What are we going to do? Go buy some more land? No to SE Ranch. As elected officials, you're here not for yourselves, you're here for your constituents. And I'd like to ask right now, who wants SE Ranch to be used for a sports complex when it's like 6 miles out? Nobody wants it. Constituents. These are your constituents. These are the people you go around putting signs in their yards, putting signs in their neighborhoods, saying, promising the moon, and I'm going to bring it down with wine and roses. And when the time comes to it, nada. You know what? It's ridiculous. I'm ashamed that you all say that I'm here for the future of Del Rio. You know, when I see the little children coming up here, I'm thinking, oh, this is just a show. You know, they're just going to speak. But you know what? What they said, whether they did it on their own or with the assistance of their parents, put every single one of y'all on the spot because you're showing you don't care for the kids. No SE Ranch, forget about it. You know what? This development here, this is the first I've heard about it in the past 6 months, well, when all the ruckus went about, y'all. And it's needed. I turned 55 years of age Friday, and I was talking to a friend of mine. I know it's a city thing, but I swam at the Moore Park when I was 6 years old. I swam at the Buena Vista pool when I was 6 years old. There's nothing been done in Val Verde County for over 65 years. That is ridiculous. And I hope that there are city council members here. If you are, shame on y'all, because San Felipe, I grew up there. And the same crappy cars that I have been telling the 3 previous mayors, between Garza and Gillis, are still there. And the shameful thing is, elected officials put up their signs there when they're running for office. And of course, the city, believe it or not, people, the city makes city ordinances, but they have nothing to enforce them. Nothing. There is no punishment. There is no citations. They can't do anything about it. You know what? I'm a strong believer that if you keep voting for the same people, you're going to get the same result. Nothing. I'd rather live in the 80s. I'd rather take Del Rio to the 80s, because at least we'd be going backward instead of staying stagnant. I say no, SE Ranch, and we'll figure it out over here at the fairgrounds. Yes, the George Paul, that's history. You know, Mr. Paul, I don't want to talk about people, but he went into contract for television, 2 years. You can't even catch a beer buzz in 2 hours, you know? They got to finish the rodeo in 2 hours, and the demise of it is coming. We inherited the property next to Walmart. If we took care of it, nobody even tries to establish a watering well there to water the area. You play on dirt, like I used to play on dirt in the 7th grade when we practiced football. That is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And I think the misconception that a lot of people have, they compare to Eagle Pass. Eagle Pass is totally different, because Eagle Pass, that property was donated by Mr. Wynn. I don't know who he is, but he also donated property for the Wynn High School. And the school funded the complex. It's not a county, it's not a city, it's a school-funded thing, which I will reiterate. You keep voting for the same school board members, you get nothing over and over and over again. No to SE Ranch, period.
Thank you. And I know we're not playing politics here, but he's my opponent in November. So, are you sure? Okay. Next to Walmart, answer your question. The property next to Walmart don't belong to us. We do get to use it. We're sort of scared that he's fixing to try to develop it. That's how come we haven't done anything with it. George Paul, we absolutely need it, in my opinion. It is a relief, and I can't wait to go to the event. We're trying to get back to some type of normal. For those of y'all, I'm not pushing it, but those of y'all that ain't bought your tickets, there's still tickets available. Again, I'm not pushing it. City, one of the comments, the city, on one of the other complexes that they're doing in Eagle Pass, they actually took bridge money in order to be able to support it. That right here, our city council members would be crazy to do that, because that is one of our main sources of revenue in our community. So, and the Second International Bridge, we'll have that conversation with City Council. Just throw that out there later. I think you're going to be last.
I'm going to be last. I'm going to be quick.
You're it.
I'm going to be real honest, and I'm, excuse the pun, but I'm getting Footloose vibes here, where we all have a lot to say, but it sounds like the commissioners have already decided what side they're on, and I'm really sad to feel that way, but that is how I feel. I probably am one of the more rounded people. My husband works at Laughlin Air Force Base, so I'm aware of their flight patterns. They don't only fly during the day and during the week, they fly at night. They call it night flying, and I know this because my husband's shift would change whenever they were night flying so that he could accommodate that schedule that needed to be changed. My grandfather was also a charro, so I'm also familiar with the horses and the rodeo lifestyle because I grew up around it. We even had a horse in our backyard on 2nd Street before they took that land to develop it for the spur. So my kids will never see the benefit of this sports complex. My son is a junior in high school. My daughter is a freshman at Incarnate Word. My son is currently a Rams baseball player, and that has been his goal since he picked up a ball at 2 years old. He started in T-ball. My daughter played T-ball. He continued on with baseball. She played coach pitch, and she went on into cheer. At 8 years old, my son was picked up on the express travel team, and we have been traveling with him for the last 10 years all over the state of Texas so that he can play baseball. What I will share with you is a little bit different than maybe what you're hearing from some of the other parents, but I see the Patriots baseball team